glad to have the opportunity to do another video for you guys. We are going to make something that, first time, the cauliflower pizza crust. One sec. This right here has become such a huge versatile part of our low carb lifestyle, not diet, but lifestyle. We've made mashed cauliflower, we've made riced cauliflower. This week I'm going to do two different meals. I'm going to make a cauliflower pizza crust, and then we're going to make mac and cheese out of cauliflower. So this would be cauliflower and cheese, cauli and cheese, something like that. So I have a giant head here that I'm going to split into two meals. I'm going to show you how I make essentially the riced cauliflower. I've got one of the coolest little gadgets that we absolutely adore and use all the time, and it was like $10 at Walmart. So stay tuned for a delicious recipe, and I really hope by the end of this video I'm telling you guys that I no longer like fathead as much as I like cauliflower crust. So let's see. So you guys have seen this before. We've shared it with you. The piece we got at Walmart for like 10 bucks. So this is how we're going to turn our cauliflower into like sort of the cauli rice. So what you need, throw that around, is the bowl. I'm going to take the blades off, super duper sharp, so be careful. That's going to stick in here. We're going to toss some florets. We're going to put this guy on top. Whoops, sorry. This guy it goes on top. And I've got this crank thing that's going to go on top, and you just crank it and it's going to move those blades around, and we're going to create a little bit finer than a normal cauli rice. The recipe I'm using says to make it like snow. So let's see if we can do that. So I've broken up about half of this thing, and I'm going to stick the lid on and grind that sucker up. And that's it. Maybe a minute. And I've got a little bit finer than a normal cauli rice. Alright, so I have added this cauli rice to the aroma, and we're just going to draw a little bit of that water out. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt and just kind of let it steam to draw out some of the water, and then we're going to use cheesecloth. We have cheesecloth on this truck to squeeze out the water. So I kind of already messed up because a little bit of it got a little bit burnt, but that's okay. I'm going to pour the cauli rice onto my cheesecloth, let it set for a few minutes until it's cool enough to handle, and then we're going to wring out all of the water. Okay, real quick, I just want to show you, this is how much is left. So much water came out, which is awesome. I'm hoping this is enough cauli rice for the recipe. I'll add some cheese and stuff, so it should be okay. I'm guessing this is kind of like the base. So that's it. So I'm going to put this in a bowl with some cheese and some spices, herbs kind of situation, and we'll go from there. We're going to now add a 1/4 cup of Parmesan, a 1/4 cup of mozzarella, and a little bit of my ever so favorite Perfect Pinch Italian seasoning by McCormick. I've used this in every one of my fathead crust recipes in place of all of the 6 to 12 herbs and spices that they suggest, and this is awesome. It turns out perfect. I also added in an egg, about a teaspoon of minced garlic, and a tablespoon of almond meal. The recipe does say if your cauli rice yields 2 cups, you could use the almond meal. If it yields 3, you don't need it. I had 3 full cups of almond meal when I started, of cauli rice when I started, but after I cooked it, it cooked down considerably. So I went ahead and added a good tablespoon or so. I don't think it'll hurt it. Worst case, I'll add a little more cheese if it seems too dry. So at this point, I'm going to take this, I'm going to stir it for a couple minutes, and then use my hands and form it into a ball, pat it down, and pull out my Black & Decker 3-in-1 and probably cook it on there. I've got bacon cooking. I will pull out my artichoke hearts, my sun-dried tomatoes, and my chicken, and get this ball rolling. All right, let me tell you what I did and did not do. I did not cook my chicken. I totally forgot. So I left the remnants of my cauli rice in there. I wasn't worried about it. That stuff's gonna come right off. It's super difficult to me to take remnants of cauli rice like that out of something, so I figured why not. It's just a little bit. So that's what you see is some cauli rice that's gotten brown. I cooked my bacon in here, so there's just a little bit of bacon grease right there at the bottom. I'm gonna throw this chicken breast in, and I have something else to show you. I really need to be sponsored by McCormick. I love their perfect pinch seasonings. Okay, rotisserie chicken is awesome. It really brings out the flavor of the chicken. There's going to be so many flavors on this pizza, but I really did want that chicken to have a place. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on it, add a little teeny bit of water in the bottom so it doesn't burn. Let this cook up, and then we'll be ready to cut it up to add to the pizza. So I had made this attempt at a white sauce. I think I turned the aroma off too soon, so it kind of separated, but it's getting back there. It's simply some butter, garlic, some heavy whipping cream, and Parmesan cheese and black pepper. So I'm going to get it a little bit hotter. The pizza crust is going to be going on in just a moment. I've chopped the chicken, the bacon. I'm going to pull out the, what is it? Sun-dried tomatoes and artichoke hearts. And this should be ready to assemble very soon. I'm just going to let this kind of get a little bit more mixed together. It kind of separated. So, but you live and you learn. I've never made a white sauce before. So this is pretty cool. Alright, so this looks like a mess, but I want to tell you something. I tried to make my crust in my Black & Decker 3-in-1, and it wasn't going to work. It was just too wet. So I only did half of it, and I brought it over here. You can kind of see it. This is the gooiness of the dough. It looks gross and messy right there, but let me just say, I think this is going to be delicious. So I do have a cauli crust down. I made a white sauce that separated, but I kind of managed to salvage it. I put down some mozzarella. I put down some rotisserie seasoned chicken, artichoke hearts, and sun-dried tomatoes and bacon. Okay, you guys, do you see this? These things are freaking awesome, okay? I don't like tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. So there are 3 carbs in about 3/4 of a tablespoon. But I tried just a piece. That's the really dark stuff in there. I tried a piece, and it's the texture of a dried apricot, and it's teeny bit sweet, but not really sweet, and there is no taste of tomato. So I know there's other flavors. I'm hoping they have a little bit of less carbs, because I could so snack on these. Now, it wouldn't be terrible to snack on them in place of a dried apricot or other things that would have more carbs. So it's not the worst thing in the world at all. And I didn't really use a whole lot in there, but I had to share that with you. So it is the Bella Sun